There's a lot of noise out there. Content creators, so-called experts, and financial gurus are popping up left and right, making it hard to decipher the truth. In this video, we'll cover the 5 biggest money myths that we've been told for years now. And number 3 is extremely controversial. So be prepared to debate if you bring it up in conversation or online. Myth number 1. Coffee is killing your finances. We've all heard financial gurus harping on and on about how giving up your daily cup of morning coffee is the one thing that's holding you back from financial stability. Famed businessman and Shark Tank investor Mr. Wonderful Kevin O'Leary is one of the biggest talking heads on this point, claiming that high-priced coffee is the dumbest thing people spend their money on, and that spending $2 or $3 on coffee is pure stupidity.
I drink coffee, 1 cup every morning. It costs about 18 cents to make it, and I invest the rest.
While these coffee purchases have been sensationalized as financial game changers, the idea that your morning Joe is causing you financial ruin couldn't be further from the truth. While habitual coffee purchases must be accounted for when considering your expenses, cutting back on small purchases and delaying gratification extremely isn't nearly as important as deciding where to live, which car to purchase, or what career path you'll take. Yes, every dollar counts, but bearing in mind that housing and transportation are the biggest expenditures for most people, these expenses are much more likely to change your financial state than skipping out on a cup of coffee. So feel free to indulge. In moderation, of course. Myth number 2. You have to watch the stock market daily. Let's be clear. There's nothing wrong with monitoring the stock market on a daily basis. However, it isn't a necessity to keep your eyes constantly glued to the market. And panic watching definitely isn't the way to go. In fact, many successful investors don't monitor the market much at all. They consume news here and there to stay informed on financial news and trends. Mostly, they rely on sound investing strategies to buy and hold investments for long periods of time, often with the help of an advisor. One form of investment that lends itself well to this philosophy is mutual funds. ETFs and mutual funds are buckets of stocks designed to give you broad exposure to multiple securities at once. Unless you're a day trader, there isn't much valuable information in the day-to-day movement of the stock market. Heeding the market too closely might cause you to take unnecessary action, like panic selling, that can be very costly in the grand scheme. It's important to remember that building wealth is often quite boring. No need to gamify the system. Myth number 3. Shying away from debt is the key to financial freedom. Personal finance personality Dave Ramsey hates debt. He preaches against debt ad nauseum and advises everyone to avoid it. In recent years, many investors, especially in the real estate sector, have spoken out against this idea. Many millionaires have built their fortunes while utilizing debt. For instance, an investor might work with a lender to secure funding for a real estate purchase, be it a fix and flip home or a rental property. In doing so, they utilize good debt. Understanding the difference between good and bad debt is the key to this equation. Bad debt is money borrowed to purchase rapidly depreciating assets or assets for consumption. Bad debt can include high levels of credit card debt, which can hurt your credit score. A mortgage or student loan may be considered good debt because it can benefit your long-term financial health. Generally, financial obligations that are unaffordable or don't offer long-term benefits might be considered bad debt, and any debt that might be considered good has the potential to become bad if it's not managed responsibly. As long as you manage it thoughtfully, debt itself isn't something to fear. Just food for thought. Myth number 4. You don't need an emergency fund. Now, we talked about this in our video on how to survive a recession. But just to reiterate, you absolutely need to create and build an emergency reserve. These savings should be separate from your savings for college tuition, a new car, house, or vacation. Emergency funds create a financial buffer that can keep you afloat in a time of need without having to rely on credit cards or high-interest loans. Remember the bad debt we just talked about? And if you already have debt, an emergency fund can help you avoid borrowing more. To be a true safety net, these savings must be kept separate from other money so that you aren't tempted to use the funds for other purposes. It also makes sense to park the cash in liquid and stable vehicles like an online savings account, money market fund, or etc. If anyone tells you that you don't need an emergency fund, they don't have your best interest at heart. And myth number 5 is a big one. Money equals happiness. Can money buy happiness is an age-old question. Thankfully, there's actually been research to address the topic. And while studies have shown a positive link between money and happiness, it's what people do with their money that can actually provide a sense of happiness. How you apply your money is far more important than the idea of just having money in the bank. We'd all prefer to have extra money as opposed to having no money. But as the saying goes, money will make you more of what you already are. Therefore, money can be seen as a tool to aid in obtaining the things that help bring you joy. For instance, if you're a musician who is happiest when playing instruments and watching the sunset, you can use money to purchase a new guitar and even to buy or rent a house that provides great views of the setting sun. It's safe to say that money indirectly influences happiness, but it definitely isn't the source. What's the biggest money myth you were told? Let us know in the comments. Also, since you've made it to the end, please give this video a like and subscribe for more of our content. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.